Leaders, this is Dr. Gary, making good bosses into great leaders with compassionate accountability. I'm coming to you from my new house in Durham. I only moved 17 miles, but it's been about 13 months when Christy and I started this journey to buy a new house. But we finally got here. Hopefully someday you'll all be able to come visit on Baker Night, because I'm sure that I will have an open house for all my Baker friends. So let's get to it. Our next mini camp is February 18th, but you have some work to do between now and February 17th. 3 stories. Story number 1 on Myers-Briggs personality styles. Catch yourself in a moment where you can adjust your style based on the other person's style. Or maybe you do a coaching do-over where you go back, or a conversation do-over where you go back and talk to somebody, realizing that the miscommunication or the misunderstanding came mostly from differences in communication style. And it happens when our personalities get in the way, when we don't realize it. So Dr. Vito helped us understand all of that stuff about introverts and extroverts, and feelers and analytical type people, and where we're very programmed and scheduled and want to make sure everything is just so. And big picture, little picture. It's details versus being able to be intuitive and kind of getting a sense of the whole thing. So he was our expert, though, and showed us what all these differences can mean sometimes and how it can get in our way. But it can also help us connect if we understand it. So let's recognize that in the moment and see if we can adjust our style to make a difference. Number 2, applying the fierce conversation principles. Let's look at a situation where you can apply the principles and tell us a story about where you had to have a fierce conversation and applied those principles in fierce conversations that we learned from the book review. And then triggers. Triggers is one of my favorites because I really believe, and I might have said this, maybe I didn't, I'll repeat myself. If you can change 3 to 5 triggers in your life, where you see yourself triggering all the time, and you can reframe those to show up in a more positive way, you can change your life. I honestly believe that, because that negative emotion that can turn into kind of an underlying negative mood can affect you sometimes for days. And by shifting the framing of that, the way we see it, we can look at this differently and change the way our emotional state is. So rather than just biting our tongue and holding it in, that emotional control, let's reframe it in a way so that that negative emotion doesn't hit us in the first place. So identify some triggers. And as we said, if you find something that's a challenge for you to reframe, ask a friend. They can usually help you figure out a way to do that in a much more effective way. Now, in February, we've got Leaders of the Pack going to share with us Good to Great. It's one of my favorite books. Yes, it can be a little long and it can be a little deep, but if they can bring out 3 or 4 of the really key things in Good to Great, I think it's a helpful book for us to learn and know about. And that's about it for now, I think. If you have any questions, get a hold of your coach. Make sure you have your cohort meetings and get your meeting notes in so that you can get credit for that. Copy your cohort meetings notes to your coach and to Laura to make sure that they get recorded. If you need us, give your coach a call. Call me, call Laura. We're here to help. I look forward to seeing everybody in February, and that's Tuesday the 18th, I guess. We will be together one more time. Time sure flies when you're having fun. This is Dr. Gary, making good bosses into great leaders with compassionate accountability. Take care.